Okay, folks, welcome. And we're going to do something a little different. I'm not sure how successful this is going to be, but we'll give it a shot. We did a deep dive into the Face of Battle rules, which I have had for 20 years or so, a little bit more than 20 years actually, and just doing kind of a refresher course on how to even play the game. So we did that yesterday, a couple hours. We went through the rule book, and I got enough confidence that I think that we can do a little skirmish. And I don't know exactly how it's going to go, but we'll give it a shot. At least it's trying to get my feet wet in it, and I'm going to take things really easy. And here is the battlefield that we have set up, and it's a 2x4 board. This is very small, and this is what we're going to do. So the scenario is, and I've got my phone over here where I can actually look at it, because we're going to be using this as a camera, which is the actual computer. Actually, let me put that a little bit better that way. We're going to use this as the actual camera, so I'm not going to be able to read what's on there because it's not facing me. So I've got the phone over here, so feel free to comment. Again, be gentle. I haven't done this in 20 years, and we'll go from there. We'll figure this out as we go. So the first thing we're going to do is we've got our forces that we have set up, and of course we're going to solo this. So if you guys want to chime in, like, hey, why don't you have this guy do this or the other? As long as it's not stupid. Remember, these guys are trying to stay alive, and we got to keep that into effect. So we've got 4 Germans that are going to be on the defense versus 6 Americans. Okay, and we'll introduce the cast of characters here in a second. We'll bring the figures up here. I've already made the chits for them, and we're going to basically start from square zero. I'm going to run into problems. I know for a fact I'm going to run into problems, so we'll just have to see how we can solve them. I've used more complicated weapon systems than what's on here before, so should be able to handle this. I should be able to find the answers to the things, and if I get shit wrong, well, then maybe next time we'll get it right. Okay? So we've got the chits over here, and we will do a check to make sure that we've got all the chits for everyone. All of the figures are labeled with the name of the character. So this guy, for instance, is Rifleman Scott. Okay, that's what it is. So when his chit comes up, that's who gets an action. Now let's just do a double check. We got Scott, Ludlow, Flanagan, Calvin, Johnson, and Young. Young is the corporal, and he gets an additional token that is his leadership token. Okay. Where is I had to take him to the table because I wanted to make the sheets for him. That'll give a chance for some of you guys to make it in. I didn't want to commit to have to be here at a certain time because there's variables that are just out of my control on a daily basis. Okay, Calvin, 2 tokens. Everybody has 2 tokens. That's standard operating procedure for average quality soldiers. Okay. All right, so everybody has 2 tokens, and then there's a special blue one that's the leadership token that Young can do his funny business with. On the bad guys' side, yes, that's the Germans are the bad guys in this scenario. On the Russian front, they're both dickheads. But between Western allies or Germans, no brainer. If you get offended by the Germans being called the bad guys, tough. All right, we have, so equipment-wise, all of these guys are equipped with a Garand rifle, except Young, who has a Thompson. Okay, I did not give him a 1911. He has just the Thompson. We're going to keep this simple. You're not going to use a 1911 unless the Thompson jams. So let's hope the Thompson doesn't jam. Okay, but that's all they have. Everybody has just one weapon, and they each have 1 grenade each. Okay, there is a finite ammunition on grenade. The rest of this stuff, small arms, it's not figured in. Okay? And you'll see how that gets abstracted. It's kind of elegant. Okay, the Germans. We have Schneider, who is the Obergefreiter, the corporal. He has 2 tokens. He also has a leadership token. Then we have Rifleman Langer, who has 2 tokens. Mueller, who has 2 tokens. And Schenke, who has 2 tokens. All 3 of these guys are equipped with a Kar 98 carbine, also known as a bolt-action Mauser. And Schneider, of course, has an MP40. He also does not have a P38 or a Luger. He has only the MP40. Going to try this, keep this simple for the first battle. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do is, we'll come back to this later. They also have 1 grenade each. Okay? It's expendable. And I'll show you what the data sheet looks like on all those particular weapons. All right? So we're going to take all these tokens. We're going to put them in our Crown Royal bag. I like the bags. Not a huge fan of Crown Royal. It tastes a little too sweet for my taste. You know, you can buy the bags on Amazon without the Crown Royal in them. So, I didn't do that with this. I actually had to buy the liquor for that. So this is better than any particular shuffle, okay? And I am the world's worst shuffler. Actually, you could be worse than me. You could do like 52 card pickup every time you shuffled. I don't do that. I tend not to be that clumsy. Now, all the clipboards that I have around here, I can't find a single one, okay? So, we're going to have to do this without a clipboard. This may be the only time I'm going to show you the sheet because it's kind of awkward to hold up to here without something hard behind it. Don't go there. So, here's the Americans, okay? You've got 6 soldiers, what they're equipped with. We went over that. Young has the Thompson submachine gun. Everybody else has a Garand rifle. Everybody has 1 grenade. Okay, Germans. Here's your 4 soldiers. MP40, Mauser, Mauser, Mauser. 1 grenade each. These numbers over here are your skill and morale. I just went and picked average guys. Okay, their skill rating, or I forget what it's called, the skill check, is a 60. That's basically everything you use to fire and stuff like that. Morale is the other number. It's also 60 as the average. Okay, you want to roll that number or less. That's good for them. Okay, the leaders have an additional token, and they have 1 leadership attempt, which is what that 1 token means. And they also have it's not called a rally attempt. It's called something else that's like that. It's basically the equivalent of that. Let's see exactly what it's called. And we're going to be figuring shit out as we go, just so you know. So this is an adventure, and hopefully this will have an interesting narrative that will keep you guys entertained to some degree or another. Well, several of you were entertained last night, and I thought last night was a lot more clinical than this is going to be. Because hopefully fun shit's going to happen that we can laugh about. Okay? Because they aren't real people, you know. Okay, so let me go and find out where the leadership is. I'll tell you exactly what that is. Combat, artillery, explosions, firing, combat. All right, where is... morale? Easy to find before. Leadership and rank, B5. I'm gonna need a taller table than this, or I'm gonna be in sad shape. It is called a recovery action, okay? And that's how many recovery actions you can do spread amongst the soldiers. These guys are really simple. They each have 1. Both leaders are exactly the same, other than the weapon they're equipped with, and also what else? That's it. I mean, their skills are the same. The zone of control is the same. 6 inches. 6 inches is the radius. They need to be able to implement that special rule when they get the token. You'll see it as it happens. So here's the weapons data, okay? And I just broke down the real simple stuff. So you have single shot, spray, and quality modifier. The quality modifier on everything is a 0, and that can affect you if you have a mishap, okay? So all the weapons are relatively reliable that all these guys have, including the grenades and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so let's look at some ranges, and let's get a ruler, which I may need to get the tape out here because I know I've got a bigger one than this. Oh, here it is. It's leaning up against the side. This one should be long enough. So this is 2 feet, 24 inches. Okay, this is all in inches, unfortunately. The scale of the game is in inches, 2 meters. So take the number of inches, multiply it by 2, that's how many meters away this supposedly represents. So you've got a Thompson. Thompson is short range, effective range, and long range. So a Thompson is 6, 20, and 30 inches. A Garand is 18, 55, and 85. And the pineapple grenade is 4, 8, and 16. So a grenade, an American grenade, can go 16 inches away. That's pretty nice. Okay? Probably going to see grenades flying. All right? And again, I'm going to say this. I haven't played this in 20 years. This is probably going to go really slow. And then the next battle we do, it'll be even easier. So I don't want to introduce mortars and freaking half track and all that stuff. There is a half track out here. It's going to take no part in the battle. Who is this? Ethel. Okay. Ethel the half track. Ain't she a beaut? Okay. She's going to sit back here, and that's where the Americans are going to come out of. It ran out of gas, whatever you want to say. That's the point of entry for the American troops. Okay. So that's the ranges for the weapons. The Thompson can shoot either single shot of one die roll, or it can do spray of 3. And what the spray is you get to affect any soldiers within this zone. It's 2 by 2.5 inches. So when you get ready to fire, you say, okay, I want to affect these guys here. Anybody that's in here can be affected up to 3 figures. Okay? And you roll for them individually. All right? Garand, 2 single shots. You could take 1 if you wanted to, but there's 2 single shots on that. Okay, the Germans, MP40 is the same range on the MP40, except it can only spray. All right, it can't do a single shot on the MP40. MP40 is fully automatic only. It's not selectable fire. The Kar 98, only 1 shot. Okay, so the German rifles are only going to fire once per turn, and the range on them is a little more poor than the Garand. So instead of being 1855, 85, they're 1650, 76. Now, to tell you how crunchy these rule sets are, so this isn't complicated, these variations. The German grenade's different. The German grenade, you can throw it farther. Hey, I didn't write this, but you can throw the stick grenade farther. 16, 12, and 20. So the German grenade can go up to 20 inches away. The pineapple can go up to 16 inches away. They're both small burst radius, but the pineapple does a little bit more fragmentation. It's 2 and 4. We'll get to what those numbers mean. I'll have to look it up. I honestly don't know. And the Germans are 1-3. The potato masher is actually an offensive grenade. So it has a smaller burst radius, generally, so that you can, you throw it in somewhere and then you go in and storm into place. Pineapple's a defensive grenade. So if people are storming you, you throw it so it's, Anyways, that's the theory behind it. That's the weapons data, okay? Seems like a pretty generic game so far. We'll see. The meat and potatoes is how these chits come up. What happens here as they come up, all right? And let me make sure that we're rolling. Yeah, let's not close that. Come on. And I'm going to I got a coffee here. That'll keep me awake. A cold coffee. And if I need it, I'll go get a soda as well. Typical, me and my cook habit. We're not going to use stances for any of the figures. They're all going to be standing up unless they end up having the morale check where that affects them and they go to prone. And normally you wouldn't have to put a token next to them, but I'm going to go ahead and put a P next to them as a reminder. This is what I use, P's and K's. And if they don't have one of these next to the figure, it's assuming that they're standing up. Okay? Grenades are these little black fuzzies. I talked about them yesterday. It's nice. You put it where you want to land, and then you roll for deviation. I don't think I'm going to need a D6, but anyways, the game is percentile. I don't know if you guys can see the dice roll over here. You're just going to have to trust me. Black is always the tens digit, okay? So that is a 34, all right? So, all right, so let's get started. So the first thing we got to do is we got to look at what some of these terrains mean in the game, okay? And so we've got woods, we've got a house, we've got woods, we've got a house, the hedgerows, which hopefully they don't come into play. I'm just going to make a decision at this point that the Americans can't sit behind the hedgerows and shoot. They've got to take this house. And to make it interesting, these Germans just pulled in and they're behind the truck. So they've got to work their way from the truck into the house if they want to defend it. Okay? And they're basically going to try to stand here at the house, and the Americans are going to try to take it. Okay? That's it. That's real simple. All right? And I'm probably going to be doing stuff like this. Welcome, Marcus. Just to show you where the action's going on. And hopefully I don't wear out the screen on my computer in doing so. I need to find out why my phone is acting the way it is. Hold on a second. Let's make this big. Okay, and yeah, I'm not sure why the text isn't appearing there. I may have to actually look over here for the text. Anyhow, I've got my camera over here, which my phone, that's not really very useful. But I guess if I lose the feed, I know that I'm not on anymore. Hopefully that doesn't happen, because something really cool could happen here. All right? So let's look at some terrain. We didn't really get into that yesterday. I would love to do it if it was not a big factor of the game. And I'm not going to do spotting. I know I just don't want to bog the game down in that. Let's see how some of this combat works. Actually, you know what? I'm going to make an executive decision. Now, I want the Germans to have to move too. All right, let's look at the terrain. I'm going to go over here, find out where the hell the terrain is. It's not complicated. I didn't touch on it at all yesterday. Actions, morale, terrain, overview, terrain type, C3. Okay. So we have terrain types and what type of cover it is. Okay, so if we're looking at forest, we're going to call these forest light. Okay, and it's medium terrain, and cover type is partial. I don't even know what the fuck that means at this point. Okay, the type of terrain, soft, medium, hard, will affect the results from the combat tables. Okay, that's pretty easy to understand. So this is medium. Hedgerows, let's see, we'll play with the hedgerows, that's fine. Hedgerows, are they on here? Oh, bocage. Excuse me. They're good terrain type. Okay? I'm not going to have the Americans just hang out back here. That's not the point. The point is to mix it up. We're not going to learn anything sitting back and sniping at long range. Technically, this is probably going to be medium range. Maybe even short range in a lot of situations. The building. Building house, medium, good cover. Okay? What was the bocage? Medium. What about the woods? Medium. Okay, that's easy to remember. Medium, medium, medium. Good, good. What did we say? Partial? Woods is... forest, medium. Now I want light. Partial. Okay. All right. Medium, medium, medium. Good, good, partial. All right. That's all the terrain. If you're staying behind a vehicle, soft covered vehicle, we're going to call it partial as well. All right. All right. Let's set up the Jerry's. All right, so we're going to, arbitrarily, we're going to put Mueller here. Rifleman Mueller, Langer, Schenke, and Schneider. they parked this truck here, and just in the nick of time. All right, and the Americans are going to come over from this zone. I'm going to move. What do you say this was? Ethel? Yeah, Ethel. Ooh, sexy name. And they're going to come in like this. So we've got a couple of riflemen. Oh, well, if that's how it's going to be, I don't know that I'm going to be able to pull this off. You guys see this? They're here. Executive decision. Ethel can't move. They lost the keys. All right. Johnson, Calvin, Young, Ludlow, Scott, and Flanagan. All right. I'm also going to say that it's going to take one move to move through this hedgerow. That was one of the things that we covered. I'm just, for simplicity's sake, it's going to take one move. You got to start next to it, and let's move these guys back. Okay. You're going to start next to it, and then when you get next to it on your next move, you can do one action to go all the way through. All right? All right. Hopefully we can get the screen to cooperate there. All right. So, turn. Let's get a turn marker out here. Let's use a big old die, just for the sake of, don't we have a die of unusual size? Die, damn you! No, I don't have a die that's huge. Let's use the one that doesn't have pips. We've used pip things way too long. That's a big one. That's a D10. All right. It is turn one. Somewhere here. Okay. All right. So let's get the bag of tokens. All right, place your bets. Who's going to be the first person ever activated in this game? Remember, these guys are going to get a reputation, or they could. You know, some guys are just always going to be. These are all average stats. These are just average Joes. All right. I normally would have painted these tokens, but they're going to get chipped up in moving them around like this. Now, hopefully, it's not a leadership action. Okay? And if it is, it is. All right, first one played. Langer. Okay, so the German Langer, where's my movement thing? Here we go. So the Germans only have one MP40 and 4 rifles. Okay? Each person has 2 chips, yes. The leaders have a leadership chip also, which is blue. It has blue writing, has a little L circled. Okay? Langer is a rifleman. Okay? So somehow they know that there's activity of the Americans. Okay? So they're going to come over here and they're going to attempt to get into this building. Now, I made the mistake of, where is the access to the building? Okay, there's a door all the way back here. And once you get inside, you go in through this door, up to this door, up to the staircase to go up to the top level. Oh, look, we had a corporal that was still up there. Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye, Nazi. That was one of the guys I had set up for the picture show. Okay, alternatively, he can, he can try to go in a different direction around the front or something like that. It'll be quicker to go around the front. What do you think you should do? The back door or use the front door? We can also fatigue move them. What do you think? I'm going to have a sip of coffee. You guys get to play. If we do a fatigue move, let's see if I'm forced to take an action to use the fatigue, to take the fatigue off. I don't remember. I only read it once. I know it's not complicated. And we're just going to skip this. We're just going to skip the spotting. The ranges are very short here. Okay? And we're not playing prone. Everybody's going to be standing around. So, you know, it's a first-person shooter. Oh, we read it yesterday. Overview. Mass move fatigue. They double their movement by announcing a fatigue move. If a unit soldier in effect of one fatigue counter at a time, a fatigued soldier has all die or dice rolls multiplied by 2. It takes an entire action to remove a fatigue counter. So basically, if he fatigues, he gets to move twice as far as he normally does. But then the next action, he can only move normal, and he still has that fatigue counter until he stops and spends one action to remove it. Okay? Basically, catch your breath. I would say backdoor and work to the top floor. How much of that can you do in one action? I don't know. Is he going to move fast or not? Yes, let's have him move fast. Okay? So he's going to move 10. All right? Which guy did we say it was? Langer? That's this guy over here. Okay, he's going to be able to move. Jeez, I really made it difficult on myself, didn't I? He's going to be able to move through here. And he's got about another inch to move. And then he's going to move another 2. So he's going to be about right here, going through this door and this other door. I got to be careful. I'm going to knock this thing down. He's going to go through this door and the other door, and he's going to have a fatigue count. So let's put that over there beside him. Not that we can't remember, but let's get in the habit of putting this stuff down there. Give him an F. Okay? So we're just going to place that on there, and we're going to remove this and this for the time being. I don't really have anywhere safe to put it, so I'll put it over here at the other table. Okay? That's it. Langer's done. This does not go back in until the end of the turn. If he gets killed before he uses his other token, or if he gets killed before he uses any tokens, then nothing happens. Okay? He never got to do anything. It was nice knowing you. Okay. Will the Germans get to go again? I'm actually going to make 2 piles, so. Johnson. All right. Big Johnson. Big Johnson's over here. He is this guy right here. So we want to make sure that we get up to the front of it, get up to that hedgerow. Let me make sure this doesn't, if that computer falls down, I got problems. Okay, that's this guy right here, okay? So we're just going to move him to the hedgerow, okay? Because then his next action that he does, he can step through, okay? Seem reasonable? Johnson. We're not going to roll for spotting. Nobody saw those 2 guys. We're going to use common sense. Like Mitch and I play, it's going to be like, hey, what do you think about this guy? I don't know. I don't think that guy would have done that kind of stuff. So, okay. Next token. Ludlow. Ludlow's a rifleman. He is the guy that's in the figure has a kneeling position. That doesn't mean he's really kneeling. That just means it's the kneeling position. He's about 2.5 inches to the hedgerow. He's got to start in there, be able to go, so he's going to move to the hedgerow, edge of the hedgerow, and he's going to stop. Okay? Ludlow's done. Now, right now, this is just kind of like, basic. We're just kind of going through the motions. Okay? Mueller. All right, Mueller's back here. Should he follow him up there? I don't know. How much space is on that top story? Let's take a look at it before we decide to put everybody up there. Let's see what this top floor looks like. This thing sits like this. Yeah, we could probably get, you got a spot. The guys can come out here. They can shoot. I think they should make an attempt to run on up there. They get a vantage point on them. Okay? So Mueller's going to do the same thing. We're going to do fatigue move with Mueller. Mueller is this guy here. And he's going to be right behind him. Basically in that doorway there. Also with a fatigue counter. Both of them have fatigue counter. Okay? So far, so good. I was thinking just rifle on the second floor, not top floor. You mean the first level. Ah, see what I did there? Ground floor, first level. Well, they're not there yet. They're not up to that certain. They're not up to that spot. They're halfway up. He's like a third of the way the staircase. The staircase is actually, yeah, he's a third of the way up the staircase. Next guy up. Schneider, leadership for Schneider. Okay, so that's how this is going to work. Schneider is going to, he can give anybody within his 6-inch radius that he's within line of sight of, but not himself on the leadership, okay? There's only one guy down there, right? It's Schenka. So Schneider goes, Schenka, get your ass up the house. So Schenka's going to move as a fatigue move. Okay, I'm not going to put a fatigue counter for him. We know that he has one, and he's in here as well. But he hasn't acted yet. So he still gets 2 other actions. Okay? Schneider has no more leadership moves. Okay? See how that works? You got some time to decide where you want him to go. Okay? As you can tell, this moves slow, but that actually allows you guys to have some input and go, okay, well, we'll do that when their turn comes up. You know? This isn't me making mistakes. You guys get to make them too. All right. Next one. Scott. Not to be outdone, there's a Scott down here. Wouldn't that be odd if he wasn't of Scottish descent? And he's down here. He's this guy right here. He's going to move all the way here. That's why I like putting names on these guys. Because you can't go like, that guy looks like an 813. You know, you can't put a face on a thing, you know. Anyhow, I digress. Scott is done. Okay? Now, if this was a really high-ranking leader, okay, and you had all your guys up to the tree line, and he pulled one of his actions, these leaders can only activate 1 guy extra. But you can get like a major or a captain, they can activate like 3. He could activate, tell, hey, you fuckers, move through the hedgerow, and boom, all 3 of them move through on his leadership token. Kind of cool. But it's not on a squad leader level. So you really have to manage how you use your resources. All right, who's up next? Mueller. Now, Mueller is this guy here. We can either take the token off of him or move normally and keep it. What do you think we should do? Move him and keep him, or take it off of him? I'm thinking you should move him and keep him. Now I'm going to allow him to go around Langer. I'm not going to say, well, Langer didn't go next. He's stuck on the staircase. Maybe at some future time, I may actually change my mind on that. But let's look at the layout of this. This looks like this. So when you get to the top of the staircase, you're basically here. And you can either go up another flight, or you can either go up another flight. Oh, it helps if I put it in there. You're basically here at the top of this staircase. You can either go up another flight, and you can turn around, and here you've got a couple of doorways. One that'll lead into the overhang here, and one that'll lead in the overhang here. But you can't actually go between them. Move to the first level and keep. Okay, I think I know what you mean. Okay, so he's at the bottom of the staircase. He can move a minimum of 5. Okay. You want him to stay on this level? Okay, so what's going to happen is Mueller is going to come all the way in here. I'll move it over here so you can see it. He's going to go up this staircase. This is going to allow him to move about 2.5, and then he's got about another 2.5. So he's here. Now you'll get to decide. This will give you some time. He's still got a fatigue marker. I'll give him a new one because that last guy, we didn't put one out there for him. He's still fatigued, which means all his die rolls are doubled. Okay, remember he's like that. Okay, you get to decide. Do you want to go behind door number 1 or door number 2? Door number 2 leads to the overhang here. Door number 1 will lead to this area here that he can shoot out of here. Now there is a window here. All right, you can shoot out of that window. Okay, I don't have any barricaded windows. If you see a window, there's a spot to fire out of it. Okay. So just decide before he comes around whether it's going to be door number 1 or door number 2. Although Mueller's gone twice, right? Yeah, so he's done for the turn. No more Mueller. All right, I'm going to move this off to the side. All right. Next. Flanagan. Put up the Flanagan. All right. So he is this chap here. Let's have him go to the corner. Okay, Flanagan's done. There's no point in fatiguing them because they're not able to move all the way through. That would just be silly. You're thinking door number 2? This way? Okay. That's what it'll do. Schenka. Schenka is the guy here. I assume you want him to do the same thing. So he goes up the staircase and he'll be like there. Okay? Because he stayed a little bit behind. He's also fatigued. And he's done. I mean, if you're going to do something like that, everybody needs to suffer the same way or not, you know? You can decide what door you want him to go out of. Okay, next one. Scott. Okay, Scott's already here. Scott's already there. So he's going to take his one action, and he's going to go through. Okay? The next turn will be the interesting one. More interesting. Langer. Langer's the first guy up. He's a little bit farther forward. What door do you want Langer to go through? 1 or 2? Hell, they can all go into door number 2. I wonder what the hell the Freighter's up over there reading. He's taking his last sip of Beck's. It's German for beer. Yeah, when you don't get in a house, you're going to be German for toast. Let me get a soda while you ponder that. Maybe door number 1 for here, small house, spread out. Spread out! Small house. That's a mansion for Europe. You're just a spoiled American like me. Okay. So, who was it? Langer? Langer's halfway up. He's got 1.5 inches. Give him another 3.5 inches. He's going to step in through that doorway, and that's where he's going to stop. So Langer is here. Now, the beauty of it is, now we can put the floor on. Now, he's in front of this window. He can use this window if he wants to. Okay, right where he's at. All right? But he's fatigued. He ain't going to hit jack shit where he's at. Okay? Next one. You guys get to decide when these guys start flinging grenades, okay? I don't think you're going to be able to fling a grenade from this kind of window. You need an opening. Young, hey! Finally! Well, he's going to move. This guy stepped through, right? So we're going to move him into his spot. That's Young's action thing, not his leadership one. Okay? Shenka. Shenka is this guy here. What door do you want What door do you want Shenka to come through? This same one or come out here? Now he's still going to be able to position himself, say somewhere here, and get cover from this building. That's probably the only guy that can get cover through that window, so through that opening. So that may be a good idea just to put one guy there. Remember, it looks like this too. So you're not really going to get much cover other than if somebody's there. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. Okay. So, yeah, they're here. So you could probably get one guy here to get cover in that one spot. Because you've got this roof here, you're probably not going to get anybody else. There's not really a place to stand here. You got space for maybe one guy to get some cover over here. And this roof, also an issue. You're gonna have him try to come over here to this corner. Can he even get there in one turn? He's got 5 left. Yeah, he can get over there. Yeah, just one rifle. Okay, there he goes. And he's still fatigued. He's got time to fix that. Wonder what a Gefreiter's doing back there. Shenka! All right. We could have just said, okay, you're up here in this house, but you got to see at least how the turn spreads out. Maybe that's useful. Ludlow, the guy that's kneeling, he's here at the edge, he steps through. Schneider, yes, finally, the junior leader moves. He's going to have to hustle too. I mean, there's no point in him just putzing around. So he's going to move 10. That's going to put him at the base of the stairs. Woo, make sure you don't drop that figure. Remember, this is up here. So he's going to, thank you. And he's fatigued. Johnson. Johnson is here. He pushes through. See if something interesting happens here towards the end. And you'll see when it happens. And by interesting, I mean, you want this guy's leadership thing to come up, so that he can activate one of these other guys in extra time. Calvin hasn't gone at all. And of course, it's just mere seconds between them, but Flanagan gets to go again. Flanagan's this guy, he steps through. So now the situation is he doesn't really, well, I guess he maybe does have line of sight. Yeah, he probably has line of sight to those guys that just stepped through. Let's see what happens. Young gets to go again. Now this is interesting. So we're going to have him scooch on through. Make an executive decision and move these guys in a second. Okay? Now this guy's stuck back there. Well, he's not stuck back there. He hasn't gone yet. So there's only 4 tokens, and 2 of them are his. 2 of them are Calvin's. Okay? There's 4 tokens left, and 2 of them are Calvin's. The other one is this one. Okay? He has a second token. And the leadership token of Young is the other one. Okay, it's really easy to figure out when everything is like orderly here. Okay, so what are we going to have next? Calvin finally steps up. All right. All right. These guys are going to have to spread out, man, because this is like grenade problems, right? Anybody else watching, man? Step up. Is there a nerd burglar watching? Let me know. All right. Next token. Calvin again. What and why didn't I write his name on both sides? This is like the only guy that doesn't have that. Well, that's perfect, honestly. The fact that he pulls through. I'm going to scooch Flanagan over a little bit. There we go. Everybody's through. Schneider. Schneider gets to act. Schneider's going to get put in this position over here. He's also fatigued. Now I'll put this up. All the Germans are on the second story, or really the first floor. Depends on whether you played advanced squad leader or not. And the last one should be Young's leadership. And there it is. So Young can get somebody to do something. So, you could move one guy. I don't know what kind of a distance are we looking at. About 21? That's not an auto spot. I know we're not doing spotting, but it needs to be we need to do it with the correct intent. Okay, let's move this out of the way. The coffee cup can go away. So let's look at the spotting. Let's look at the spotting chart quickly. I didn't want to spend a lot of time on it. Okay, any unit within 8 inches is automatically spotted, obviously assuming that there's line of sight. Short range is 16, medium is 36. I am not a fan of guys using an action to spot, especially at this stage, because I know there's guys there and you're playing like this game. So I'm going to, who's the guy? Who was it? Oh, he gets to activate one more guy. So since Calvin's camouflaged, I'm going to tell Young to, hey, how about you try to spot that guy up on the thing, all right? And so we're going to measure the distance. I know we talked about not doing spotting, but this might be just a little refresher. Oh, we got a comment. I would like to replay U.S. battles and Lord of the Ring battles. This looks awesome. So much creativity. Well, there's lots of stuff out there. There's lots of videos out there, man. It's, So we're going to measure the distance. We're going to pick Calvin because he's got scrim on his hat, on his helmet, okay? He's at 21, so he's just over. So that's 21. That's about 42 meters away. And I'm going to roll a die, okay? And he's going to use his skill check, which is 60. Okay? And I'm just going to make an executive decision. And he's going to be, if we spot him, he's going to be a viable target for some of these guys to start taking pot shots at him. All right? I could probably do this. Okay, remember, black die is always the tens digit. 45. Are there any other kind of modifiers you have on this? Spotting very small vehicle, partial cover. He gets a 10, plus 10 to my die roll. We're at 55. I'm going to say he's spotted. Okay? That's an executive decision. I don't know if there's a spotted marker, but we're going to use this. Well, you know what? We're going to remember. He's spotted. That's just from orders. So that guy's an eligible target. Okay? And that's the end of the turn. Nobody dies. So all of these guys come back in the bag. And now's when it gets crazy. Now's when people are probably going to get shot. Okay? Let's put all these back in. So that took a while. 2. But again, what's important for me is the narrative. And remember, there's actually a roof here. Okay? This is what it really looks like. Oh, sorry. This is what it really looks like. So we're gonna remove that for clarity. All right. So you got Americans that are basically in no cover. And you got Germans that are in cover or on their way to cover, but they're tired. All right? So they're going to have to make a decision to take a breather or start firing now with their die rolls being doubled. Okay? All right, first one up. Langer. All right, Langer is the guy in the window. All right? Unless you guys tell me otherwise, I think Langer's going to take a breather and take that fatigue off. because having his die roll doubled and then being spotted by the Americans is probably not a good thing. Anybody got a problem with that? I'm just letting you guys decide. You don't have to decide. By the way, one thing I didn't cover is, you see these little sprinkles on the bottom of the trees, the tree areas? That's really where the trees are. Okay, so you can remove these. If guys are moving through the trees, you can remove these. And these are the magnet things that I did, which, let's use a bigger tree. It's easier to deal with at this time. All this is undercover. Where's the other one? Here. The big ones have a stronger magnet, and they grip a lot better. But hey, these are the trees I had. Probably wouldn't buy any smaller than this, because they work really well. They work better. Timber! Oh. The Sierra Club's going to be all up my ass. That's okay. We got guns there. They don't. All right. So Langer is going to use an action to take his fatigue off. Okay? Langer is no longer fatigued and has taken his action. Now, if Langer gets pulled again, he can take a shot, and these guys are in the open. Flanagan. All right, Flanagan is here at the end. He doesn't like the fact that he's in the open. Can he reach some woods or some cover? He can't quite reach this, but he can run over here to the woods. I think that's what he would do. Okay? So Flanagan, I'm going to remove this tree. As you can see that there's trees over here. And Flanagan is going to run his happy ass over here. Because he's going to find cover before he just starts firing his Garand at this guy behind the window. Because he's in pretty decent cover. I'm sorry, but behind this guy here. He's going to get into some cover to make it a little easier to get there. We're not playing with prones or kneels. They're only going to go prone if they end up getting one of those morale results that causes them to drop. Okay? So now Flanagan's done. So when I was playing with this 20 years ago, we used poker chips. You know how loud poker chips are when you mix them in a plastic container? Really loud. So this is much better. Schneider, leadership action for Schneider. Okay, so he gets to activate one guy within the line of sight and 6. So he can only see right now one other guy. So he can either get him to move or get him to remove a fatigue. I'm going to have him go ahead and remove the fatigue. And that he can't do it to himself. He's just telling, hey dude, chill the hell out, okay? So he removed the fatigue on Mueller. So when Mueller comes up, he'll be able to move and fire normally. Well, not have a doubled. His die roll not being doubled, which is bad. You're not going to hit anybody. Okay? Young. Young himself is going. Now, Young is here, and he's the leader. He's too far away to make any kind of a cover. But if we look at, this is where we get to use our cool toys. Where did it go? Here. If we look at the line of sight, let's drop this. If he gets into this zone, he can move like here. And here, he might get some, it might be a little harder to hit him through the trees. Or we could double move him and have him jump in here. I think Young should make a beeline and double move, even if it's a fatigue move, and run into somewhere where he can get into here. Now Woods, I believe this is half move or 3/4 of a move, which means that he's probably going to be able to move about somewhere in this zone. He could probably move behind the trees and not even get shot at. I think that's probably what we're going to do, is we're going to take these guys and move them around in through here. Maybe move Calvin over here when the time comes and have some couple riflemen over here shooting, and the rest of the squad move over here. What do you think about that? You agree? Okay, cool. All right. So Young's going to do a double move. It's going to be a fatigue move. And we're going to move him somewhere where he can't get shot at by the Germans. There's no opportunity fire in this game. So you don't have to play this game of, all right, I'm going to move this guy here. Oh, wait, when he crossed there, stop him and we'll take a pot shot. There's none of that bullshit here. Okay? And I'm going to make an executive decision that he was not able to be shot at because he's all the way on the other side of the woods. Okay? All right. Next token. Calvin. I think Calvin's the guy closer over there. Can he get there in one move? I don't think so. I think he's going to have to double move. I think we should double move over there. What do you think? What do you think, Marcus, since it's just you and I playing together? Seem reasonable? Move him over to this, somewhere like that? Yeah. You know, he could move, he can make it in there without a fatigue move. That's what he should do. He should move there with a fatigue move. Without a fatigue move. Because now he's not tired or anything. Now once they're in there, they can start shooting up there. But now they're in some kind of a cover. Because bad things happen when you're in the open and you start shooting and you take a morale check. Okay? And we just remove these trees for clarity. All right, Calvin's done. Ludlow's next. Ludlow's over here. He should follow him. He's fatigued. Calvin. Calvin's already in position over here. I think he should shoot a Schenk up there. Sound like a plan? What does Calvin, the other person next to him, have? Any BARs? No BARs. Everybody's got a Garand except Young. He's got a Thompson. So they're going to have 2 shots for each one. What do you think about Calvin letting loose 2 rounds over at Schenk up on the building? Who's fatigued up there? I think that's a good idea. What range is that at? It's just over 18. Don't tell me his short range is exactly 18. It is. So it's effective range by just a smidge. Just a smidge. Okay, so we're going to look at the combat value things here. 60 is his combat value, no modifier. Environment, there's no environmental factors. No injuries, like he's not injured at all. Okay. Target is not in a short range, so you don't get a benefit. He's not in long range. It's not kneeling, prone, crawling. Target is running, plus 30 fatigue move. Well, technically he still has the fatigue counter on him. I'm going to say that doesn't apply. It's been a while since he moved. Okay? Attacker moved this card. No, he didn't move. Attacker not resting the weapon. Okay, so he's plus 10. That's it. Okay, so we've got this chart. He is in medium terrain, good. And I basically need to get, I'm going to add 10 to my die roll. And I get 2 shots. Do I get a modifier for the second shot? In other words, do I get something being bad because I fire the second shot? I know other games do that. I don't see it, so I'm going to say he doesn't get it. All right? So 2 rolls. I'm going to get a piece of paper down. Actually, we need to do them one at a time. Oh, doesn't count. By the way, if one of them falls out, if I pull a Mitch, you got to roll them both over. Them's the rules. All right. Black is 10's digit is black. Here we go. First shot of the game. It's a garam, baby. 30. Okay. Plus 10 becomes a 40. Medium terrain. Good. MC1. Okay. What the F is an MC1? Probably a morale check with a 10 modifier. Look at this. This is only moving slow because we've never done this before. This isn't that difficult of a game. I need more tables up here. Let's go to morale. See, after we do this once, we'll know what it is. Nope. 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 Morale check. Okay, MC1. Case A. As a result of combat resolution, a soldier may have to make a morale check. Morale checks from the resolution tables may be modified as indicated by the morale number. Okay, that's a 1. The letter in the bracket is the type of morale failure a unit incurs that does not have any morale counters. Okay, so it looks like if he fails, okay, a soldier is fired upon and receives an MC1 result from our feat. Soldier has a morale value of 50 and rolls a 78. Failing a morale check, 50 plus 10 for the... That's exactly what I thought. The MC1 basically is 10. Okay, so I don't know that there's any other modifiers other than that. Does he get anything for being in cover? If he doesn't, then it's just morale. No. Okay, so he has a morale of 60. I'm going to roll 10 to the dice. I need to roll under 60. 42 becomes 52. He's good. Okay. Oh! Fatigue. Is his morale doubled? Probably isn't. Is the die roll doubled? Let's look at fatigued. I probably wouldn't do it, but it's not my rule set. A fatigued soldier has all die or dice rolls multiplied by 2. I think that's what it means. So what did I roll? A 52? So in that, I'm sorry, a 42. So it'd be 42 times 2 would be 84, and I add 10 to the die roll, so that's 94. I wouldn't have done it that way. I wouldn't have made a fatigued guy tired. Well, don't get fatigued in the line of fire of an enemy. I can tell you that much. What happened to the firearm combat? It's here. It's the first effect we've had. Of course it's going to go slow. If the morale check fails, the outcome depends on the type of event. Okay, that's an MC1S. So So he becomes shaken. All right, so he gets a shaken counter. Shake and bake. Shaken. A unit shaken as a result of a courage event, the soldier fails a morale check. It's also taken into consideration if the soldier doesn't have a morale counter. Place a shaken on the soldier that is shaken. When shaken, if the unit's in the open, the unit may go prone. Not in the open. He may still perform actions, but will have all his skill checks doubled. So he needs to get the fatigue off, then shake. Because the fatigue is like fucking with his morale. Okay. Well, that was a little long-winded. Oh, that was the first shot. Oh, geez. Next shot. M1 in the building. All that and watch the second shot kill his ass. Nope, 97. That's not good. So, let's look at the firearm chart. What? Okay, the mishap is not on this sheet. Why would it not be on this sheet? Anyways, it's not going to do anything. The 97 doesn't do that other than potentially having a mishap with a weapon. This is the 1.0 firing. That's the modifier. I'm going to go to the original one and see if there's a mishap on there. No. Oh, this is the one I should have been doing. Well, fuck me. Yeah, it's the same numbers no matter what. Okay, where is the mishap? That's explosions. I'm pretty sure it's a mishap on the Garand. Okay, well, this is how you're going to figure it out. Is it after morale or is it before morale? We'll know after we do this one time. Fatigue, combining, mishap example. It's when it says auto fail. Why can't I find it on here? Okay, here it is. Auto fail 1. I guess it's a skill resolution table. Okay, cool. So he's a combat value of 60. He gets an auto fail 2 if it's 91 to 100. Auto fail 1, which is more severe if it's a natural 96 to 100. Okay, so we have an auto fail 1. Okay, mishap modifiers. There's nothing due to foreign weapon, rain, or anything like that. Go to single shot. There's no modifier, so there's no chance of a malfunction. I'm going to roll 1d10. And 1 through 7, it's a reload. He gets a reload token. 8 through 10, it's a jam. Okay, pray low. It's a jam. Okay, so you got a jam on the Garand. You can get rid of that. That's just in the way. Really? You gonna start with me? Okay. Jam, jam, jam. The jam counter is... Oh, it must be in the other one. Well, where is the other? Here it is. It's the one that has a barrette on. And then we'll read what the effects are. Okay, so that's Calvin. We'll face you guys. Jam! Okay. Jam. The weapon jams. The result of the attack is ignored. Well, of course it's ignored. It was a super high number. The soldier must spend one action attempting to unjam the weapon. Well, not right now, but next time. Only one unjam attempt may be made per action. To unjam a weapon, the soldier must make a successful skill check. Causes of a jam: misfire, dirt in the breech, improper loading. Not enough lubrication. Okay, so Calvin has a jam. Okay? All right, that's it. So Calvin took 2 shots over here at Schenka, shook him on the first one, and jammed with the second round. Who's next? Johnson. Johnson is over here. Well, according to our plan, we're going to run him over to this place. So we're going to fatigue move his happy ass out of line of sight, right? And Johnson's going to be over here fatigued. Got it. You got a tired Johnson. Whatever the hell that means. Our Johnson is tired. Well, what's it been doing? It's been running. Okay? That's it. See, some turns take longer than others. Okay. 7 viewers, welcome. Welcome for Once Upon a Time in Normandy. Can he fix the jam? It's die roll dependent. You got to make a successful skill check, and if you fail it, it's fucked. Now, he still has a bayonet. He can still go stabby stabby, but we're not going to run him all the way up there and stab. He still has a grenade, you know. Calvin the Grenadier. Who's up next? Schneider. Okay, that's the leader. He's here. We're going to unfatigue him. So now we got Schneider and Mueller, who's a rifleman. They're both unfatigued. And so is this guy. The only guy that's fatigued is Schenka, that's shaking in the corner. Shake and bake. Okay. Next, Johnson. Well, what happened with Johnson? Johnson's over here. When it's time to move through the forest, he can get into it and start taking shots. So what do you think about taking his fatigue marker off? Because otherwise, he can just move straight, but he's still going to have that fatigue marker. And when we found out it's not good to have a fatigue marker and get under fire, because that shit happens to you. Should we take the fatigue marker off of him? What you say? I think we should take it off of them. I think these guys need to recover before they go do something else. These guys heard about, like, man, don't take fire when you're tired. You do crazy shit. You start shaking, you know. Literally. You start shaking. All right, we'll go ahead and take that. We're going to take that off of them. Okay, so Johnson's done, and he's here. All right, who's next? Mueller. All right, Mueller is here, and he's one of the guys we're going to have run in through here, right? We already got one window taken, so he can run over in here. And he could possibly take a shot. What do you think? Should he take a shot after he moves? That's just a good chance of having it's probably not going to hit him. You got guys in the woods. He's going to move. He's firing his one shot. I think Mueller should move over here into position, kind of how Schenke is, but over in this area, and he won't. On his next action, he'll be able to fire effectively. Agree. And Jerry's could chuck a grenade down there, so don't bunch up. Okay. So, we're going to move him over here. All right. Next, in the middle of turn 2, Mueller gets to go again. All right. Let's just take a look and see, can they even throw a grenade that far? Now, a potato masher goes 20 inches. I don't know if there's pre-measuring in this game, but I just came back from a game that did a lot of pre-measuring. He can throw a grenade at extreme range and get both of these guys in a burst radius. What do you think? You want to do that or fire his Mauser? It's effective range for the Mauser. It's long range for the grenade. Or he could shoot at this guy who's out in the open. He could shoot there, shoot at these guys. Shooting at these guys probably all of a sudden isn't a good odds. So throw a grenade over at these two fellows over here, or take a rifle shot over here. What do you think? These guys, we decided they're out of view. Let's straighten this up so it looks a little bit more civilized. We got a tree that's slacking. Slacking tree. Let's get another one of these. It's a little bit more. I think what I need to do is when I put these washers, I need to put them farther away from each other. I think if they're touching, it doesn't do any good. You think 98K at this guy here? Okay. Let's do it. It's 23. So, he's in no terrain. Are there any modifiers to it? No. There's no modifiers to it at all. This guy's sitting in the open, and he's just, for a split second, maybe it's 3-5 seconds, whatever. This guy comes over, sees him. Guy's in the open. Okay. He's 23 away. That is effective range, right? It is. Short range is at 16, so he's in effective range. So we're just going to do a die roll. He only gets one shot, and he wants to roll low. Pow! 38. Okay? What is a 38 on no cover? Incapacitated. Ah! Who's that dumb bastard? First guy to get shot. Scott. Scott just got shot. Oh! Now, I believe there's a subsequent die roll. Does being on a level help? I don't see anything on there. Probably for line of sight. Yes, it does. That's why he got shot. All right, let's look up incapacitated. Hope none of you guys were related to him. Why isn't this right here? Let's look it up here. Hand-to-hand round. Injury. That's not that. There's actions, morale shaken, prisoners, common infantry movement, terrain, cover line size. Wounds. D1. You know, this kind of stuff, you do it one time, you know what it is. Incapacitated. An incapacitated soldier is prohibited from making any further actions for the remainder of the game. Unless the soldier can walk, 2.21, the figure is removed from the game. The figure may also be replaced by a severely wounded prone figure. Any incapacitated soldier may move. Here's the optional 2.1 rule. An incapacitated soldier may move if they roll a 3 or less on a d10. This check may only be performed once and is rolled when an incapacitated result occurs. The soldier must retreat to a known friendly map edge using all possible precautions and cover. This type of incapacitated soldier is called walking wounded. A walking wounded may not perform any actions except movement. A walking wounded may not use fatigue moves. Well, let's find out if he gets removed or he's walking wounded. We got 1D, a D10, and it needs to be 3 or less. So 3, 2, or 1, he's walking wounded. No. Poor Scott, there he lays. There layeth, there he layeth. Do we have a, no, we don't have a counter for him. So we're going to leave the incapacitated counter for Scott. Scott, you're the first one to die, so this is what he looks like. Oh, well. Shit happens. Maybe they'll come get him later. There he is. Scott's the first guy. That would be the trivia. You guys ever have a trivia question? Hey, who was the first guy to ever die and face a battle on one of Toadie's games? You know. Well, he's not dead. He's not dead yet. Literally. Stretcher! Okay. That is Mueller. He's an unfortunate Scott. Sorry about that. Schenka's next. Schenka is this guy that's shaken in bacon. Okay? So I don't know if he has to take the shaken off first or he can take the fatigue off first. I think that if he needs to take one off, it needs to be the fatigue. That caused him to shake in the first place. Okay? So he needs to like snap the fuck out of it, right? Or he's going to get sent to where? The Russian front, of course. Which is not going it's not going too well right now. A soldier must spend one action to remove a shaken result. No other action may take place during this action. Shaken morale failures are removed automatically. All right, so let's look at fatigue. If it's not clear, we can do either one. We'll take the fatigue off. I'm not necessarily worried about playing this game exactly the way it's fucking written. Not that I want to change my own shit, but this isn't DBA anymore, and we're not playing this in a tournament. Okay, this is all for the narrative. So if it makes sense, that's what we're gonna do. Why did they put terrain there? Fatigue. Should be under movement. Self-rally, fitness, cascade, fatigue. Infantry movement, B22. Soldier may double their move. Fatigue soldiers will multiply. It takes entire action to remove fatigue counter. Leadership action may not remove a fatigue counter. Oh, see, already did something fucking wrong. Okay? We removed fatigue counters back here that we shouldn't have. And this guy would have been fatigued and he took a shot. Shit happens. He was a superhuman. He was able to do it. We're gonna remove the fatigue action. Okay? He's still shaking. He's done. Now we know. Well, we won't do that again. Shit happens. An asterisk game. Hey, it's all about the narrative. Shenka. That didn't take long to fuck something up. Leadership action for Young. Okay, now we know leadership action can't take the fatigue off. Okay, can't do anything about here. He can activate one of these other two guys. And he can't take the fatigue off. So we can either activate Johnson, who's in good shape, to maybe move in the middle here and take a shot at somebody. Or have Ludlow move a little bit farther around. What do you think? He can't activate himself. I'm thinking move Ludlow up. If we can move Ludlow in a position where he's still obscured and not be able to be fired at, and then on his turn he'll be in a reasonable position, say over here, and then he can use his own turn and take fatigue off. Sound okay? He can only tell one guy to do that. So say move over here. Somewhere we're not going to get, that much woods, I'm going to say, is blocked. That's Young's action. Okay. Next. Ludlow. Now Ludlow's in position. He uses his turn to take the fatigue off. He's no longer fatigued. Well, that worked well. Scott. Okay? Scott's incapacitated. It gets removed from the game. Now, he didn't move at all, so we're going to come across Scott, another one of Scott's tokens. It'll also be removed. And there it is. Okay? Langer. Where the hell's Langer? Langer's the guy in the window. What do you want Langer in the window to do? He can shoot at these guys down here at the bottom. That's really his only target. Can't really see anything in here. We made an executive decision we couldn't see through there. Shoot at Flanagan, maybe? He's in a window. Who cares? I mean, he's got to start taking shots at people. I think you should shoot at Flanagan, especially since Flanagan hasn't gone. So Flanagan's actually he's got two actions, right? No, he already went once. So Flanagan has another action, so he's probably going to come up here and pepper somebody. I think you should take a shot at Flanagan. He's in the window. We decided he couldn't chuck the grenade all the way over here. That's a bit extreme. Okay? Be different if you're trying to drop the grenade over in this area. Again, that kind of stuff's probably not in the rules, but just use common fucking sense, folks. That's why I'm more interested in running this almost like a role-playing game. Like, I'll play the Germans, whenever Mitch comes over, and we're probably ready to, we do another couple more practice games. He can come over. Fire? Okay. Fire at Flanagan. All right, so there's probably no modifiers other than if there's one, we know that it's going to affect what kind of terrain he's in. But that's basically, what did we decide? That was partial, medium partial terrain, okay? Through smoke, fog, dense snow, no environmental factors, no wounded, fatigue, none of that stuff. Nothing for acquisition. No combat that affected by weapons. That's it. That's pretty much a medium terrain. Okay? And he's not going to get the +10 because he's in a window, so he should be able to rest his rifle. Okay? So he's not going to get a +10 on his shot. And I don't know if we added that here to this guy, but you can make a case that he can rest it against the building. Okay? So we're looking at medium terrain, partial. We're going to get something 70 or less is going to do something. One shot. Pow! 38. What's 38 do to Flanagan? Medium, partial. He gets a MC2. Okay? So he has a minus 20 to his morale. So he's going to add 20 to his morale die roll. Okay? So his morale is 60. He needs to roll under a 60, and we're going to have a plus 20 on the die rolls. Okay? Okay, so it's 59, so he becomes 79, so he fails it. Okay? So he becomes shaken. Not the end of the world. Okay? That's it. Every one of these rifle shots is going to go faster than the previous one. Next token. Young. Young's here. Let's take that fatigue off. That's obviously a problem. We've got about 3 left. Schenka. Schenka's going to take that shaken off. Right? It's automatic, right? Which is kind of weird to think about it. But I guess it's not very severe. You know? It does double your die rolls, but... Yep. Schenka unshakes. Because a rifle fire doubled, you're not going to hit anything with that. Okay, we're getting to the end here. 2 more. Flanagan. All right, Flanagan shaking. Obviously, he's going to unshake. One's left. Is it Calvin? No, it's Schneider. It's the MP40 guy. Now, let's keep in mind, the MP40 has a range of out to 30, right? So it's a viable weapon out here. Where do you want to put the MP40? Or should we keep that guy in the back where he can, like, affect people? I think you should put him, like, near the doorway where he can at least see both of these guys. But out of sight. That's what I would do with him. What's up, Victor? Sound okay? That's what I would do. I'd move his happy ass right here. I'd move his Nazi ass right there. And the doorway so he can see both of these guys. So you can either tell him, hey, do your thing, or, you know, fix morale and stuff like that, and he's out of line of sight. Sound good? All right, we pulled both of Scott's things out there. Scott's out of play. He's incapacitated. Poor Sap's down here at the bottom. Let's refill the bag. Turn 3. That's how it's done. Now, you could probably play this multiple times, make the same decision, and it could turn totally different. Okay. I think this was better than just setting up the Germans up there. I think let's just see how it kind of plays out. Now, I'm going to adjust the field of view. Let's see. Yeah, that's good. We definitely want these guys to be visible. All right, I'm going to need you guys' opinions, what we're going to do with this stuff. Because these guys are going to either do an end around and like charge in here or something. Hopefully this guy can unjam and start peppering these guys up here. This guy's going to be a hard nut to crack. Langer's going to be a problem. But you know, he only has a bolt-action rifle. And this is where the Americans would have smoke grenades, right? In this scenario, you take these guys, inch them up here, throw some smoke grenades in here, and then do your business and go in there. All right, who's up first? Schneider. Well, that's kind of a waste. He can't do anything. I think we just waste his turn. He doesn't do anything. Just sits there in the doorway. Seem all right? I mean, why would he step up here and start doing something now? All he can do is get in a firefight with these guys at long range. That's really not what his job is. Let's get another soda in me. You guys enjoying this? Is it going slower than you expected? I think it's actually moving a little faster than I was expecting it to. And it's actually kind of entertaining for me. You know, I mean, I'm making all the decisions, but, you know, doing reasonable stuff. You read your mind. Do they have smoke grenades? Not yet. We'll do it on the next one. That's exactly what you do. I mean, Americans have smoke grenades like nobody else. You know, there's some elite German units that have been assault engineers who have some smoke grenades, but the Americans in World War II that are the smoke champions. Oh, I made really nasty. Give them WP. Woo! All right. Here we go. Who's next? Calvin. Is Calvin the guy with the jam? It's that time, isn't it? We got to figure out what the jam's going. Let's go back to the jam. What's his jam? Well, we're about to find out. Must spend one action attempting to unjam the weapon. Actually, I don't think I have to do that. I could just say, well, we won't check and see what it is. It's not always lightning fast after all. I don't know what that means, but I actually thought it was going to move a little slower. So, it is malfunctioned and it's out of play. I mean, you don't have to drop it on the ground. He's still going to keep his Garand because it's got a freaking knife. You know, it's got a bayonet on it, right? So he's got to do a skill check. His skill check is what? 60, right? Let's see if there's any modifiers to it. Where is the other thing? Here we go. So we're going to look for the skill resolution table. See if there's any skill check for vehicle combat spotting, other targets. No. Okay. Let's see if in the 1940s they made good stuff in the United States. Well, I know the answer to that, but okay. America. 95, it's fucked. Oh, poor sap. Poor sap. Where is the malfunction counter? We're going to get rid of that mishap. Not that we can't remember. Here it is. You had to print these. I printed these a long time ago and then put them on one of those stick-em sheets. So Calvin is now the guy with a grenade. Well, we're not going to do something stupid with him. This isn't like, you know, I mean, he does have a life, okay? So his turn's done. It is totally fucked. All right. Next, Schenke. Schenke's the guy that is no longer shaken. And he noticed that the guy who got shot at that shook him has a gun malfunctioned. What should Schenke do? He really can't see these guys. He should take a pot shot at one of these guys. Probably Flanagan, who has an operating weapon. I mean, at some point, you know, you would like, okay, which guys are going to fire at, you know? If I was playing with Mitch, we'd probably do this thing like, roll to see which guy he decides to fire at. So I'm thinking he should shoot at Flanagan. You got a clear line of sight to him. Could he get Scott's weapon? He could. He could. That's probably a reasonable thing for him to do. But he's got to dash across this. You know, he's going to have to move over there. He's going to have to do a fatigue move. then he's there, and spend one action picking it up. Hallelujah. Fire at Flanagan. All right. Let's see what kind of a shot these Germans are. So, there's no modifiers, right? Other than the fact that they're affected by being in much better terrain. So it's medium terrain, partial. And he has a rusted weapon. So we want to roll. You want to roll low for him to hit him. I don't really want Flanagan dead. I kind of like that figure, but shit happens. Pow! 96. Sounds like somebody's missing some lubrication. So he has a malfunction of some form of another. And now we get to find, where the hell is that sheet? He gets a mishap, and it is a single shot weapon. It is a jam 8 through 10, 1 through 7 is a reload. Come on, let's get a reload because I want you guys to see it's such a cute counter. A 5. Reload. It's the cutest counter of all. And you're going to be thinking, well, that's stupid. How can a counter be cute? Well, I think it's cute. And I'll show you. It's got little bullets. Okay? So he's got to spend one action to take this off. Right now, he's in the same boat that Calvin's in. Okay? And that's Schenke's turn. So it's basically, these guys are automatically reloading their weapons all the time. Something happened. He like, it just took him longer to do the reload than normal. Flanagan. Well, it's Flanagan's up. I think you should just take 2 shots of that Schenke bastard. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. Maybe he can shake him too. And now you got to reload that thing and unshake. I mean, is he in short range, or this is the guy that's right outside? No, he's within short range. This guy is... What happened to him? Let's go... Oh, okay. Let's put him here. We don't want to damage our figures. He's there at the doorway. I think Flanagan should take 2 shots at that bastard up there. Or take 1 shot and see if we don't have a jam, which could void the second shot at him. He's going to be medium terrain good. And the gun's not rested, so that's another plus 10. Sound reasonable? 2 shots at Schenke up there. Or he can fire at this guy that doesn't have to do a reload in the same boat at Mueller. Has the guy in the window fired yet? I don't think Langer has fired yet. So technically, you probably shouldn't know there's a guy there. I don't know about you guys. This is a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. And we haven't even had a car run over somebody. That's when the party starts. Well, I think he's going to take 2 shots at this guy up here. Right? It's a clear shot. It's going to be the same kind of cover. It is effective range instead of short range. I still think you should do that. Because the short range only gives him a plus 10. Might be plus 30. It's funny, it's not listed on here. On the base, on the revised shooting. Okay, well, they're still going to get that bonus if he shoots at the shorter one. What is short range? Minus 30. Well, I know that he's got to reload. We're going to fire at this guy. Okay, so 2 shots at him with a plus 10 modifier. First shot from the Garand. This is from Flanagan. 22 becomes 32. That's good. Medium terrain. Good. Takes a 2 morale check. So his morale is 60. We're going to add 20 to the die roll. 65. Okay? And it is a shaker, so he's shaking. That's Mueller. Second shot. Add 10. 06. Now, I want to confirm that that's not an auto hit. As 06 plus 10 becomes 16. Well, even if it was an auto hit, it has to be 5 or less to get a KIA. So he's incapacitated. So we'll take the shaken off. We just incapacitated Mueller. And we're going to roll and see if he's walking wounded or not. 1 to 3 he is. He is. He's walking wounded. Well, he can walk his own ass to the Russian front now. So he's going to attempt to get back out of the way here at some point. Okay? So Mueller is walking wounded. All right. I thought my video wasn't live, but it is. You guys are just like in awe of all the excitement. Okay. And I don't know how long we'll go. You know, it's 10 o'clock. I could certainly do this till 11, and then we probably have to cut it off. But look, it's set up so we can pick up tomorrow or the next day or what have you. And this slacker keeps falling down. He's in that doorway down 1 level. Okay, so the Germans aren't looking too hot right now. We got 1 rifleman that's holding down the fort. This guy's got to reload. This guy's basically, for all intents and practical purposes, out of the freaking game completely. You know, lucky to be alive. Ludlow. Ludlow's here. So, I think Ludlow. Now, I can't remember if Langer's fired out of that window or not. I don't remember if he's fired out of the window. I want to say he hasn't. I don't know why I want to say that, but oh, I know what it is. He was going to throw a grenade at some point. Okay, so he ended up shooting. So there's been at least 1 rifle shot that's gone out of that window. Ludlow's here. I say he moves in here to get some kind of a cover in the woods and takes 2 shots at the guy in the window. What do you think about that? I think that's what I would do with him. Of course, he's going to take a penalty for moving and shooting on the same card. But he could get some kind of a morale result. So I'm going to move this tree out of the way. I'm going to place it with something that's a little bit easier to deal with. Okay, he's still in the woods. Three-quarters of the move. About that. And he's going to take a shot at this guy here. And it's short range. Okay? Now, what we haven't had is we haven't had a capitulation check. And that's when somebody is near you and ends up being killed. So technically, he's not killed yet. I'm not going to look into it, but I think that's the case. And that makes sense. If he was downright dead, that would be different. You know, it'd be like some catastrophic. So nobody's going to take an extra morale check because of that. Okay? So let's look. He is in... Combat value of, hold on a second here. Combat value. Where did I lose that chart? Damn it. Oh, here. There we go. Okay, so he is in medium terrain, good, not a rested weapon. And soldier. Attacker, move this card. He's ×2 on his die roll. And he's +10. So it's ×2 and then +10. Probably not good, but I said I was going to do it, so here we go. Maybe you need to roll. You're going to roll low, pal. Give me a 0 on the black one. 76. Now, just because you get a huge number, it's the natural die roll of the actual dice that causes the malfunction, okay? So it's not like, oh, it's 100 and something, you got a mishap. No. It just, that's no hit. And the next shot, 61, no hit. Okay? Now we know. So Ludlow has done his thing. Next, Flanagan. Okay, Flanagan is over here. He's the one that just incapacitated this guy. And by the way, he's going to be prone, so he probably can't even see him at any point. Well, I think Flanagan should shoot at this guy in the window. And that actually may be short range. Yep. Okay, so that's going to give him a -30, I believe. -30 to the die roll, but it's not rested. Okay, and he's +10 for not being a rested weapon, so he's -20 on his die roll, and he's in medium terrain good. He's going to take 2 shots at him. Pow! 63, what do we say? -20 is a 43? .43 is a regular morale check, so 60 or less for him to pass. 100. That's not good. What happens Let me look at one thing on here. It's going to end up pinning him. And that's, I believe, going to drop him prone. And you're not going to get a second shot now. I'm going to put it right here under the door. Langer's pinned from Flanagan. Doesn't get a second shot. Okay? So we've got Schenka, who needs to do a reload to be able to fire his rifle. You got this guy who's basically pinned. He's in bad shape. You got the leader here. If his card for leadership comes up, he can fix this guy. Okay? Or he can help improve him. And then he's back in working order. And then this guy's basically, all intents and practical purposes, dead. Okay? That was Flanagan. Johnson's up next. Where's Johnson? Johnson's over here. Well, knowing what we know now, I don't think he should run in here and start taking pot shots. I think he should do something a little bit more aggressive. Now, I don't know if I don't think he should double move. Because remember, then you got that stupid fatigue thing, and then you got another problem on your hands. Because he can get all the way to here, and then the next thing you know, he's here. Well, what the hell is he going to do there like in the open? Now, if he gets to the edge here, and then double moves, then he can get into some cover. So I think he should just probably move over here towards the edge here. What do you think about shooting him? I'm tend to think that let's not do that. We don't want to jam his weapon. I think it's just something like this and not do anything, you know. And I don't think it was a grenade. I mean, we could throw a grenade up there. It's a long range for the grenade. He's only got one grenade. I don't think that's probably a good idea. You think you should fire or just leave him there? You tell me. I roll the dice, you decide. Now, I think that, you know, we've got this guy's basically incapacitated. This guy's pinned. And this guy's got to use an action for a reload. Or he could take a shot at this guy, but you're going to double his die roll. No shot? How about just to be safe, we take a shot? We'll shoot at this guy and he needs to do a reload. Maybe something bad happens to him. He's going to be short range. Of course, his die roll is going to be doubled. And it's going to be plus 10 because he's not rested. 2 shots at Schenka. Pow! I'm glad he... Nope. I said he was going to fire, and it's a good thing because he just rolled it 08. So the first thing we do is we double it. It's a 16. And then we add 10 to it for not being rested. It's a 26. It's a 26 on medium cover good. That's a 2 morale check. Okay, so we're going to add 20 to his morale check roll. 01. Oh, shit. What happens with a natural 01? Is that a combat heroics? Oh, my God. I bet it is. I bet it is. That's why you play this game. For this kind of stuff to happen. I'm going to look up combat heroics. An 01. You cannot roll better than an 01. He goes, yeah! And he just jumps out of the second story window. You know, reload or not, you know? Let's see what happens. That's why we play this thing. I'm going to look up combat heroics. It's easier to find this way. This is why you cover these pages in plastic, because, you know. Combat heroics. God, it just doesn't get better than that. Or combat heroics is when you actually have to do something else. What happens when you pass a morale with a freaking 01? It may not be anything. I tell you what, if we were Japanese, or if you were the Russians, hoorah! You know, but if I'm designing my game and he rolls an 01, he gets a free action right then and there. Which means he done jam. But it's not my game. Okay, here's this auto success. Every morale check can automatically succeed. If the unmodified die rolls between 01 and 05, the morale check is automatically successful, regardless of the modifiers. I don't think anything special happens. I think combat heroics are when, and I'll check that, is when you have to do something crazy like take out a bunker or go in there. And you have to do an extra check to see if your guy's willing to do that. I know where it is. It's on the left-hand side of the page. B19. No, he just passes. He just passes. Well, that was the first shot. So it's doubled. I'll tell you what, we'll compromise. Okay? Since you said hold fire and I said fire, he'll only fire one shot. Seem fair? I think that's fair. He got lucky. He got lucky. He actually had a result, and he got unlucky that he's a fucking hero, you know? Okay, next guy up. Langer. Okay, Langer is this guy. It's pinned. So what can a pinned guy do? Soldier's pinned. Place a pin counter. Unit opens. Pin to pin soldier. Must move. 1-4 to cover. If they're not covered, soldier that affects a pin result may not perform actions except recovery. Pin removal. Pin units have all dice roll doubles. If a soldier's pinned, the soldier must spend one action to remove the pin result. No other actions may take place during the action except moving to cover. So it's basically the same as shaken, except you're going to drop prone. So this guy's prone, and he's going to spend his action taking the pin off. And he doesn't, it would make sense that he would go to shaken, but the rules don't say that. That he doesn't go to shaken then to take this off. He just becomes unpinned. Okay. Ludlow. Ludlow's here. Got a guy that's got a reload here. This guy's unpinned, but he is prone, so he can't shoot there, and you got an incapacitated guy. I think he should fire twice at the guy that's got to do the reload, because he can't fire here. until this guy gets an action. He's going to have to pop up. And he should get a minus for that because he's not in view of anybody right now. So 2 shots on this guy. Okay, he's not going to be rested. He's going to be plus 10. And he's in medium terrain good. And is it short range? It is. So that's minus 30. So it's minus 20 to his die roll. Oh, that's deadly. This could be bad. This could be bad for that Nazi bastard. Okay, first one. 25 minus 20. 05. I think we just have our first kill. Dead. End of fucking story. Bam! Fine red mist. Fine red mist. And I actually have a choice of whether it's a KIA or one with a cross. Okay, let's find out if he's Christian. Odd, he's Christian. Yep, okay, he gets a cross. Bam, dead. Well, that's one way to get rid of a reload counter. Dead Schenka. Ludlow, man. Get you some. Okay. Now, if Schenkus comes in, did he play all both of his? Nope, there's still one of his things. I'm going to go ahead and take his counter out of play. His chip out of play. Langer. This guy's here. So he's going to pop up and fire at these guys. I'm sure he's going to have a modifier for not being in line of sight and then being in it. So I'm going to have him fire back at Luck. Well, here's the thing is that short range for the Mauser? Because the Mauser is slightly different. It's 16. If that's short range, it is. Both of them are. I think he wants to, this guy owed him money. All right? German's got some issues. Well, this guy owed him some money, and he just heard, my Leben! He just heard something over there. He didn't know what the fuck's going on. So he's going to shoot back at Ludlow. All right? So that's going to be short range of the Mauser. So this is medium terrain partial. Acquisition. Target moved into or out of line of sight this action. Okay? So his die roll is going to be doubled. But it's going to be minus 30. So we're going to double it first, then subtract 30 from it, and that's what the result's going to be. All right? One shot. Who's this? Helanga! Tau! 99. Okay? So we have a malfunction. So it has no effect. We have a malfunction. It's a reload 1 through 7. Otherwise, it's going to be a jam. It is a reload. So that reload counter that you lost, pass the bullets over here. So he's got to take a reload counter off. Okay? So now the Germans have some issues. Yes. Well, they had some issues, and it actually looked pretty good, and then it was... So it didn't matter that his die roll was doubled. That still would have happened. You roll a 99 like that, you're fucked. You're gonna get something bad happen to you. Okay? All right. Next one. Calvin. Okay, also known as the guy with the malfunction thing. All right, so let's look at the situation up here. We got a dead German. There's only 4 Germans to begin with. We got a dead German. We got one that's incapacitated. He's fucking dead too. And a guy has got to reload. Now he can run over here and try to grab his weapon. Okay? I think that's the right thing to move. And I don't think using a fatigue move is a problem. So we're going to do a fatigue move so we can get there in one freaking turn. And he's going to be over here over this incapacitated figure. Okay? And he has a malfunction Garand. Okay? That's what Calvin's doing. Getting to the bottom here. Schneider. All right. I'm wondering, can Schneider get this guy to unreload? Okay. So a leadership action. I'm just going to look at it. I'm just going to look and find out where it is. It's a little quicker than trying to flip through here. Leadership actions, B6. Yeah, he gives this action to Langer. Langer, you Scheisskopf! Reload that thing. So he takes the reload counter off of Langer. Oh! I'm an idiot. This is not Schneider's leadership counter. Okay? It's his counter. So what should he do? Should he move up somewhere? I don't know. I don't like those freaking odds. You know, if this window was free, let's put the reload counter on. If there was nobody behind that window, and I'm going to say you can only have one guy firing out a window, otherwise you have extreme chaos. If this window was free, I'd say he can go over there. I don't know what the right move with Schneider is. I'm almost of the opinion to he could run over here to this spot, use this as cover, and throw a grenade over here. But if it doesn't knock these guys out, he just pushed himself into harm's way. Or fire the MP40 over here, but I don't know, what kind of a distance are we looking at the grenade? Is that effective range for a grenade? If it's long range, I wouldn't do the grenade. Because it could deviate like a motherfucker. Of course, it could deviate and land in a nastier place that he could get to, that he could see. Yeah, it's effective range for a grenade. What do you think? Grenade, MP40, or stay put? Yeah, that leadership would have come in handy. His leadership counter. That's not what we pulled. Man, there's a lot of delay on the text. I know you have an opinion. What do the Germans do to pull out of this one? They're probably fucked, but because they're basically down 2 soldiers. And they're already outnumbered. He can get both of them in this blast radius. MP40? All right, fair enough. So he moves his veteran, well, we'll find out if he's a veteran or not, up to this corner. So he's going to have partial cover the same way this guy does. Well, he's fucked. The same guy this guy did. Well, that's not a good thing. And he's going to fire his MP40 out here. Now, it's got a little spray thing. Get the spray booth out. I had that little counter here somewhere. I didn't think it was actually going to get a chance to use it. So just so you know, we talked about this the other day, beaten zone. If you have a light machine gun, something's belt fed, you can put one of these things down. And anything between this zone and in between it can get caught and continue to fire a bunch of stuff. So that's bad. Where is a little, here it is. Spraying fire zone. No problem getting both of those guys on there. So I'm going to read spraying fire so we don't screw this up. Because this is kind of critical. Firearm combat. Let's go to D6. Spraying fire. The ability to hit multiple targets. Spray value is a number of unique soldiers that can be hit with the spraying zone. Okay. Well, his number's 3, so I can get up to 3 soldiers in there. So 2 definitely covers it. If there are more soldiers in the zone than the SP value, the maximum number of soldiers affected by the spray fire may not exceed the SP value. All eligible targets must be resolved separately on the FRT table. Each resolution can result in a mishap. Okay? If there's less than the number of eligible targets in the spray zone, the extra SP values are wasted. Okay, pretty straightforward. All right? So we're going to have medium terrain partial. Okay, let's find out what range that is for the MP40. This is Schneider with a Schmeiser. 11 plus. That is effective range. Okay, so nothing for that. Acquisition. He's going to be doubled because he moved in a line of sight. He didn't see these guys back where he was at. Okay, so his die roll is going to be ×2 on both of them. Attacker is firing a submachine gun. He gets a -10. That's good. That's a -10 to the die roll. So we're going to double the die roll, then we're going to take 10 off of it. That's it. Okay? So we're going to work left to right. Let's Ludlow. Okay? So we're going to double this die roll and subtract 10 from it. And he's in partial medium terrain. Okay, cue the MP40. 17 times 2 is 34, minus 10 is 24. No bueno. Incapacitated. Let's find out what he is. 8. He's ink. Okay. Find the incapacitated counter. And we have another Garand sitting on the ground. Ludlow's just dropped. He's just another vegetable there. Okay, second shot. ×2 minus 10. 61 times 2 is 122 minus 10. No effect. And it's not a natural number, so we don't have a mishap. So that's what he does. All right. Made the situation a little bit better. Now the capitulation check, I'm going to look it up anyways, but I'm not going to have him check for it because I decided, I forgot about when I did it this. I don't think it's going to affect somebody if they're not dead, but I am going to read it. I'm not going to go and change this because just to be fair, okay? But I'm going to look at what the capitulation check. So next time we play, we don't fuck that up, okay? Capitulation check is under morale B12. Friendly unit killed within 5 inches and line of sight. Friendly unit breaks within 2 inches and line of sight. We haven't had a broken unit. Fired upon by main armament. Close combat. Charge, non-pay. Okay, so we didn't miss anything. Not this time. Okay, excellent. This is exactly what wanted to happen. Okay, next action. The leadership on Schneider. Okay? So what he's going to do now, he will tell Langer, I just killed a guy. Reload that freaking Mauser, you dumbass. Okay, so that's what he does. He takes the reload counter off. Okay, so we have, thank you, we have 2 active Germans. We got a rifleman, Langer, and we got Schneider with the MP40. And Schneider can't activate on that. That's his leadership thing. Okay. Next action. Johnson. Where is Johnson? Oh, Johnson's here. So, we got a Mauser guy here and the squad leader with an MP40 here. And he's got a Garand sitting here. You know, he could do a fatigue move. I don't think that's the right move. I think he should sit there and fire. I think he needs to take that squad leader under fire. I think he should take the squad leader under fire. I mean, it's short range, which means it's going to be minus 30. The weapon is not rested, which means it's a 10. So it's a minus 20 to the die roll, and he's going to get 2 shots. I think that's what he should do. What do you guys think? Yay, nay? Maybe? A minus 20 to the die roll. I think it's pretty good odds. Johnson, 2 shots, baby. First one. Pow! 98. Got a jam. Or a mishap. A 1. It's a reload. Ping! Heard that ping. Wow. So his next action, he's going to reload or get the fuck out of Dodge. I don't know, I have half a move to run the fuck back here. Then unjam it. There's no point in doing it right there. Who's up next? Schenke. Schenke's dead. He's taking a dirt nap. Dirt nap on the 2nd floor. You agree? Oh, it's almost like I'm making good decisions. Young. That's perfect. Because what we're going to do is we're going to inch Young around this way. And then that way when he gets his leader thing, you can get him to do shit. Okay? So Young's going to move his happy ass out here. And Young's done. That's perfect. And he's still going to be able to be in line of sight. I'm going to say that he can't be shot from up here. You know, he's got to go through some woods and stuff like that. I think if you're in the trees, you know. Of course, he can't fire out there either. I mean, it goes both ways. Who's next? Young leadership action. Unreload. Right? Because he's still got another shot. There's another Johnson in here. Oh no, Johnson's done both of them. Johnson's done both of them. Well, the problem is if he doesn't do that, then Flanagan's going to definitely get shot at, or maybe even this guy. So I think leave him out. I don't know. It's Has Schneider gone twice? Yes. Schneider doesn't get another move. I say unjam it. Pray for the next turn. That's how you make your decisions. Next guy. Keep the pressure on him. Mueller. Mueller is incapacitated. Bye-bye. Taking a dirt nap. Oh, he's walking wounded. Oh, he's got to move. I think it was 1d10. Right? I'm not going to look into it. It's just, he's going to go, he's somewhere in here wounded. He's going to start working his way out. Maybe cower over here in the corner, but he's not going to want to be anywhere near with anybody. I guess we'll leave him in. There's no point. Mueller's not dead yet. He might as well be. That was a while ago. Mueller goes again. I don't think he can make it down the stairs. I think he would cower back in this corner. I'm going to die in a corner. And not this corner. He's afraid of freaking bullets coming through there. And last turn is Young again. I think Young needs to step up here and fire with his submachine gun up here. And he can get both of these guys in the burst radius. What do you think about that? Make a hero out of this guy. So, got to keep the pressure on these guys, man. Oh, this guy's going to end up getting shot in the open. You know? I mean, he does have... Yeah, next time I'm going to put these washers not up against each other. I'm going to put a little bit of space between them. There we go. Okay. What kind of range is that? Oh, sorry. A little bit over 11. That's effective range for the submachine gun. They can both be in the spraying zone. Okay? We're going to shoot at the squad leader first. Okay? They're going to be in medium terrain, both of them good. Move this card ×2. Submachine gun -10. So the same as this guy. -2 times 10. The only difference is these guys are in better cover than these guys were. So this is on Schneider. We're going to multiply this by 2, and then we subtract 10 from it. Tommy gun, baby! Da, 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 da. Okay, 29 times 2 is 58 minus 10 is 48. I think that's going to have some kind of a result. 48 in good is a shake and check standard. Okay? So that's going to be 60 or less to pass. 98. Shaken. So we have a shaken squad leader. The guy next to him in the window, same thing. ×2 minus 10. Tommy gun. Da, 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 da. Okay, way high, and it's not high enough to get a mishap. Actually, this works okay, right? Roll it in. You guys can see what I'm rolling. It's relatively stable. If you're using a D100, yeah, that would just, I couldn't hold that. So nothing happens to Langer, and he's done. And that's the end of the turn. Okay, so we're going to put all these back in here. Now, let's see what kind of leadership effects happen with a shaken. Well, I'll worry about it if his leadership card comes up. Watch it be the first thing that comes up. I'm going to go ahead and put one of these back up for effect. Because we know there's woods over here where Flanagan's at. Okay, turn 4. See, the next game we'll do it'll run smoother. And nobody's thrown a bloody grenade. But you know what? This isn't, let's figure out how grenades work. Let's do things that make sense. Okay? Who's up first? Flanagan. Okay, Flanagan's over here. Flanagan is going to take a shot either at the shaken guy or at the guy in the window. I think you should shoot at the shaken guy because the shaken guy's die rolls are going to be double, aren't they? Let's confirm that. No, his morale checks aren't doubled. Then I think we should shoot at the rifleman. He's in effective range. So he's only going to get, he's going to get a -10 for not having arrested the weapon, or he's going to get 2 shots. And he's going to have medium terrain good. Okay, Flanny. Pow! 64 is a 74. That's nothing. And the second shot, pow! 59 becomes 69, and that is nothing as well. So Flanagan is done. Man, well, this guy needs to hurry up and grab the weapon. Flanagan goes again. Think you should shoot again? I think you should shoot at the leader now. Couldn't find him. Let's fire at the leader. Maybe we can get a shot at the leader. So this is +10 on his die roll. Same thing. 2 shots. Pow! 33 becomes 43. That is a standard morale check. So 60 or less for the leader to pass. Shaken is morale things aren't doubled. 32 he passes. Okay? And the second shot, +10, is an 80, goes to 90, no effect. Flanagan's done. And Flanagan is actually done for this turn. So if you're actually playing against another opponent, you know this guy's not going to be able to do a damn thing. The only way you could get anything more done out of Flanagan is if you had a leader that could use his leadership action, which means he needed to be close enough to him, or you could actually move him. You know, if Young was, say, somewhere like here, and could move and then get within the radius, and then his leadership thing come, then he could activate him again. But that's unlikely to happen. We're not going to move Young out in the middle of the open and get him killed. We respect our veterans. We don't do shit like that. Okay? Old Calvin. Okay, so now the question is, do we grab the rifle or do we take the fatigue off? I think we need to grab the rifle. So we're going to take the malfunction off. So he has an operating rifle. He's back with $1,000. Now watch this. This will be the guy that ends up malfunctioning a second one. And now he'll get a reputation of the guy who jams shit and breaks it. Right? It was always fumbles. That's the guy's name in that G.I. Joe spoof thing. It was Calvin. Oh, no, I want him to break it. It was always fumbles. You guys haven't seen that. It's Robot Chicken. Mueller. Mueller is just going to move over here to the corner. Okay? And I'm going to leave him there in the corner. If somebody comes in there and wants to, like, shoot him in the face or whatever, you could try to shimmy away or something like that. But Mueller, again, he stays there in that spot. The less characters you have in play, the more likely they're going to go 2 turns in a row. That their actions are going to come up back to back. Okay? Schneider, the leadership one. Okay? So he can't do anything with a shaken. He's going to tell, Lager, you stupid bastard! Shoot at them! Now, who's he going to shoot at? He can't throw a grenade from the window. He can shoot at Flanagan or he can shoot at the guy in the open that's fatigued. I think he should shoot at the guy in the open. We know that's a lot more effective. He's got a clear line of sight to him. Easy. That's just going to be a straight shot. I don't think there's any modifiers to it. Right? He doesn't have a jam or nothing in there? No terrain. It's going to get something. It's going to have at least a morale check. Down! 94. Okay, it's not a natural... Man, we just missed that by a little bit. With no terrain, it's a morale check. Okay? This guy's fatigued, so his numbers are doubled. Okay? So he's doubled on a morale check. 36 is 66. He's shaking. Which is interesting because a shaken doesn't double his morale die rolls, but the fatigue does. So the first thing he's going to do when he gets a chance, he's going to take that fatigue off. You know what? No, he's going to move through the fucking hedges. Okay? We don't want to get people killed here. All right, who's up next? Schneider. Well, he doesn't have to take the shaken off. Okay? But his die rolls are going to be doubled. So he could put the spraying zone back on these guys. Or he could take the shaken off. What do you think? Has he gone yet? No. Calvin's gone. None of these guys have fired. So you got two guys that could be fired. I don't know what the right answer is. I don't know whether he should just open fire on these guys and hope he gets lucky. I'm really not sure what the answer is. You know, his die roll is going to be doubled. That's not going to cause a mishap more likely. It's just going to be likely nothing's going to happen. Now, it's not short range, right? No. So it's going to be a -10 because it's a submachine gun. It's going to be doubled and then -10. The other guy next to him is in good order. He doesn't have to take the shaken off. You know, that's kind of cool. There's different ways to skin a cat. A leader may still use their leadership actions, but the zone of control is reduced by half. So when his leadership thing comes, well, it already played it, so it doesn't really matter. No answer. I think we're going to put the spraying zone down. I think it needs to keep these guys head down. Because, you know, we're going to have a submachine going in there and 2 shots from a rifle. This guy's going to shoot up there as well. We got to neutralize some of this shit. So he's going to put the spraying zone here. It's going to be doubled -10. Okay? And these guys are considered in medium terrain partial. So we're going to go left to right like we did last time. This is Young first, the squad leader. Brah! It was almost an 0-2. 82, no effect. And Johnson. Brah! 15 doubled to a 30 -10, 20. Medium terrain partial, a 20, incapacitated. Well, that was the right call. And incapacitated. Not walking wounded. This is incapacitated Woods. Not Johnson's incapacitated there. I don't know if the Germans can turn this around, but their situation's better than it was 2 turns ago. Okay. And Schneider does have another chit in there. Calvin. This guy here. I think he needs to pop through the woods. Because removing the fatigue isn't going to help. So he's going to pop in through the other side here. He's still fatigued. He's still shaking. I'm going to... Whoops! So I don't put roller skates on Bocage. little scuff there. Give me that, you bastard. Okay. Well, that was unfortunate. Screw you, I got another movement marker. Too late to be bending over. All right, who's up next? Johnson. Where the hell's Johnson? Oh, Johnson just died. He just got incapacitated. No chit for you. Who's up next? Young. Okay, Young's got to make something happen. Young's got to do the spraying zone on both of these guys again. Okay? So he's going to be minus 10. But he's in with these guys here. He's not doubled or anything because he didn't move this time. Okay? So we're going to do the squad leader first. You want to do the squad leader first in case you have a mishap. You at least got a set of rounds that went to him. Okay? And they're in medium terrain. Good. So here's the Tommy gun. 43 minus 10 is 33. It's a morale check 1. Okay? So we're going to add 10 to his die roll, and he needs to roll under 60. And shaken doesn't affect morale. Oh, correct. It doesn't make them. It doesn't double the morale. 35. He makes it. Okay. And then the other one at Langer in the window. 90. No jam. No effect. Okay. Well, I think that still was the right. I think that was still the right move. Okay. What do you got left? Young. Young's turn again. I think he needs to do it again. I mean, there's absolutely no point in running in there. You got 2 active guys. You can't just run in there by yourself. Okay? You're just going to keep firing again. Same thing. Squad leader. Tommy gun. Bum, 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 bum. 17 minus 10. I think we got a kill. 7. Incapacitated. Oh no! Hold on a second. Medium terrain good. KIA. Dead Schneider. Well, that's how you unshake somebody. Freaking killer ass. Now there's an MP40 sitting there. Audie's a Christian. Nope. Nazi fucker. No cross for you. KIA. Okay. Langer's in the window, and he also is going to take a morale check for the guy next to him, basically getting his blood splattered all over him. Okay, but he's going to get taken by 40. So some 45 millimeter automatic, 45 millimeter. Yeah, that's a powerful submachine gun. 45 caliber submachine gun rounds going into that window. 30 minus 10 is a 20. That's also bad. What do you say? 30, 20? Morale check 2 PW. What the fuck is PW? Well, first of all, it's a 20 morale check. Okay, so he needs to roll under a 40. 05. He passed. PW is probably something bad. Okay? Now, capitulation. Because he just had his officer, and he's the only guy that's alive, right? This could be the end of the game here. I said that, so it won't be. Okay, capitulation check. B12. I was here. Oh, they moved it because it's been new morale. Squad is reduced by 50%. Well, that's the first thing. And the guy died next to him. Soldier may only make one morale check per card, regardless of the number of events that occur, except as noted. Soldier must always make a morale check for capitulation when the capitulation morale event occurs. Okay, let's go to the morale sheet. It should be pretty self-explanatory. All the way on the other end. Morale resolution check. Are there any modifiers for it? Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. 98. Well, that didn't go well. It's pinned. Okay, I'd say Young was pretty effective that way. So who's up next? Ludlow. Ludlow died. Sorry about that. Johnson. Johnson's also incapacitated. Langer. Well, Langer's got to take one action to unpin. Or move. But if he moves, he's going into a house with a bolt action rifle. Where it's to everybody's advantage. I think we're just going to unpin. Is it automatically unpinned? Pin. Unit must go prone. Okay, so he's not a target anymore. He's automatically prone. Oh, self-rally to remove. It's not automatic. Okay. I don't know if I did that right last time. 03, yes. Okay, he's unpinned, but he's still prone. Schneider. Dirt nap. Dirt nap for Schneider. Ludlow. Sorry about that. And last one, Young leadership action. There's nobody within the radius that could do it. A couple incapacitated guys. So these all go back inside. Schneider, no Schneider, no Schneider. Mueller's also gone. Mueller's gone. Calvin's okay. Flanagan's okay. Langer's okay. It's looking really grim for the Germans now. Really grim. It almost looked like they were going to have a renaissance of sorts. But we've got a guy that's back here that's shaken, fatigued, but he does have a rifle. We got a submachine gun that's got that house bore-sighted. And you got okay, so it's one guy, it's one rifleman. It's not that bad, but it's one rifleman versus a submachine gunner and a Garand guy. The good thing is he's not going to have to take another capitulation check. Okay. Turn 5. Calvin. That's him back here. We're going to unshake. Next one. Calvin. We're going to unfatigue. Okay, well, he caught his breath. Young. He can't shoot at him because he's prone. So what do you do? What do you do with him? I mean, he stands up, you got this guy covering him. What does Young do? I mean, the grenade, I mean, if you put it through here and it lands in there, it may actually do something to him, but I don't know if that's a, I don't know if that's a good target. I mean, if he moves, I mean, the only advantage to move is to get into short range. He's going to be able to get, if you're in the frickin' open, he could run. I don't know that I'd do that. What's he going to do, man? What's Young going to do? I'd be more likely to keep this guy here to cover the window while Flanagan moves up. All right, I'm going to use the little boy's room. Think about it. Let me know what we do with Young. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think he should move up. That's just suicide. That could be really, really bad. Run up and grenade. Well, the only reason... Here's the problem. If you run up and grenade and you miss it, the grenade could actually fall on you and damage yourself. Let me know if that's still what you want to do. We'll do it. No, at least we'll get one grenade throw in. I'll tell you what. This actually is more fun than I thought it was going to be. Just doing like a super stupid simple scenario and just playing both sides. Next time, I like the Flanagan moving in. Yeah, I think we just have to burn his turn. I mean, he's prone, so we can't shoot at him. Okay, because he could move in and throw a grenade, but there's going to be some deviation, and you know, if he's a hot shot, he can put it in. But you know, I think if this guy was shaken or something like that, where his shot out is going to be doubled, I think then run up and throw the grenade. But he's in good shape. I wouldn't want to do that. We're just going to waste Young's turn. How about that? Flanagan's next. All right. Let's move Flanagan in. I say don't do a fatigue move. I think a fatigue move is going to be really difficult to do that. But that is going to put him out in the open. But it is going to be one shot. And if he steps out in the open, he can pepper that window. All right, Flanagan. All right, Flanny. Young, leadership action. He's outside of his radius, so he can't do anything with that. Flanagan gets to go again. Wow. I think he should just still move one. You know, if he could put a grenade through here. He can't put a grenade through this window. That's going to be just too difficult of a shot. Right? Let's look at the grenade rules. We don't want to risk this guy getting himself killed. That's embarrassing. Okay? We don't want that shit to happen. Get a skill check. It's always going to scatter. It just scatters. If the skills check is successful, the grenade scatters and the range band is determined. So we definitely want to get, if you're going to throw the grenade, you need to get within 8. Which means he's got to be within 13. He's within 13. Cautious move up. Okay? All right, Flame. Young. Young can't do anything. The guy hasn't stood up. Now, here's the thing. Langer hasn't gone. Langer hasn't gone, and this is Young's turn. So, Langer's going to go twice in a row, which means he's going to step up and probably fire and get a bad modifier because of moving. But then his next action, he won't have any modifier at all. So part of me says, why don't we move Young up and throw the grenade in? I don't know. You tell me. I'm telling you. Okay, so just like DBA, this is coming down to the end. Like you think, oh, okay, well, it's a foregone conclusion. I don't know. I don't know what the right move is. But that's some stuff to consider. I'll tell you what, I wasn't expecting it to be this exciting. And we have a minimum of weapon systems here. A very minimum of weapon systems. Now, the grenade deviates. If I move Young up here, it's not going to deviate and land on his ass. And it's not going to deviate and probably blow him up. Okay? So, I'm thinking that's what you should do. Move up and toss the grenade in here. Because if it lands in there or somewhere in here, it's going to blast and blow him and really fuck him up. And then you could go in there and really mess him up. That's what we're going to do. We're going to move Young up. Because Langer's going to have 2 turns in a row and bad shit's going to happen. Okay? We're going to mark off the grenade on Young. Let me know if I'm being stupid. I don't think so. And the pineapple grenade has a bigger burst radius than the German one. Okay? And that gets us to effective range. And we get to see what a grenade does. Well, he's going to throw it this way. It's not going to deviate this way. But this guy's going to go twice in a row. And he can't be harmed right now because he's prone. So, all kinds of bad shit could happen. So, the grenade works. Tossing the grenade. It takes an entire action to throw a grenade. No other action except moving may be performed while throwing a grenade. A soldier may move up to 1 inch if standing and ½ an inch if kneeling while throwing a grenade. Okay, well, we did that wrong. Okay, he's here. So now the question is, do I want to move 1 inch and throw a grenade? Fuck it. Let's see what happens. All right, let's see. Distance-wise, does it make a difference? I might as well just stay in the woods. 11. It's long range. I don't think we should throw it if it's long range. I don't think we should throw it in long range. Something bad could... It's going to get wasted. It's not likely it's going to catch him. He's like too far over to the side. If he was like here, yeah, no. Okay? But he's like coming from another tack. That just sucks that Langer's going to go twice in a row. Oh well. Damn Nazi bastard. All right. There it is, Langer. All right, so he could do a couple different things. He can move over and grab the MP40. And then the next one, fire it. Or sit there with a rifle, stand up, and take 2 shots. I'm thinking the rifle. I'm thinking he's going to stand up and fire at Flanagan. Because it's going to be close range. It's only 1 shot. I think he needs to get rid of one of those 2 guys. So he's... Where's this table? The problem is that there's 2 firearms tables, and I need to get rid of one of them. I've been using the revised one. It seems to be better. Yeah, because it's basically none. Okay? It's no terrain. And target moved into or out of line of sight this action, ×2. And is there a short range bonus for the... Is there a short range bonus? Yeah, -30. Fuck. But it's only 1 shot. And he's going to be standing up there. Okay, here we go. So, he's going to stand up. He's going to be, his die roll is going to be doubled, and then we're going to take 30 off of it. Okay? Mauser, 61 becomes 122 minus 30 is like 92. That is going to generate a morale check for Flanagan. Okay? Flanagan needs to roll under 60. 94. He shakes. Okay? That's all right. Now, here's the bad news. The next one's Langer. So I think he'd probably shoot at the same guy again. He can't throw the grenade from there. We decided he couldn't. You know, maybe if you're like tossing it down at somebody below you. So this time, his die roll's not going to be doubled. And it's -30. So second crack with it. Well, we can hope for a mishap. Second shot with a Mauser. Ta! 33-03. KIA. Flanny's dead. This guy should have taken a capitulation thing. Flanny's fucking dead. Well, that's why you say you gotta have a 3-1 advantage on the attack. I figured it would probably be... oh, shit, we didn't check if he was... Flanagan, he gets across. That guy was baptized for sure. With a name like Flanagan? Oh, yeah, he's got a drinking problem, all right. Yeah, so we need to take a capitulation check on Young. Is it both of them? Let's see what the effect. If friendly units from 10 surrenders, squad is reduced by 50%. He's golden. Okay. Young is golden. All right. Flanagan, gone. Young, Calvin, Langer, Young, Calvin, Young, no Flanagan. Turn 6. What a cool game. Anybody else enjoying this other than Marcus and me? Marcus and I know. This is important. This is very important. Young wants to go first. Young, pepper that fucking thing. Unless we should move up and get into close range. I don't think you should. I don't think you should. I think you should just fire from here. Just let her rip. You know, once Calvin gets back in the action and works his way over here, then maybe we could move somewhere forward. But I think he just needs to keep peppering that place. Because he's going to be minus 10. I just don't think he should be in the open. You know. Here we go. Minus 10 on the die roll. Thompson. 88 goes down to 78. Probably no effect, and it's not. Well, we can hope Young goes again. This is great. Okay, well, it's actually working better now than I thought it was. Yeah. Calvin. All right, Calvin's here. Yeah, he's going to take one move to go through. I don't think this guy would take a shot at him. I don't think so. I think he would focus on this guy or do something different. So I think, oh, you want him to fire from there? Okay. We'll fire from there. You could get a lucky shot, man. Look at Calvin. Yeah. Okay. 24. It's probably effective range. So no modifiers for that. 2 shots at Langer. First one. 61. No effect. Need a 59 or less. Next shot. And I'm going to say it's rested because you could rest it on the woods. 18. There we go. Incapacitated. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's good. Morale check 2. BW. So he needs to roll 40 or less. 37, he does it. Wow. Wow. Well, you know, Calvin could go again. Calvin could go again. But Langer goes. All right, what's Langer going to do? Well, he's certainly not going to shoot here. He's going to shoot over here. He's got to shoot. He can't back into there and, you know. I mean, if he was like shaking or something, yeah, he'd back in there and you have to get him out. He's going to shoot at this guy. It's short range, right? So it's minus 30, but he's in this super terrain. So I'm going to make a call here, okay? If Young gets killed, Calvin's going to pull out. Because it's like, not going to be like, you know, how are you going to storm this with a rifleman event? I'm sure he fires twice, but, and this, not to make Calvin seem like a coward or nothing, but if Young gets killed up here, Calvin's going to try to, you know, do some suppressive fire. But if Young gets killed, he's going to say, you know, that half track looks pretty fucking good, right? Or he's going to be like, I'm going to come up here to the 50, and if you cross in here, I'm going to mow your ass down. Just saying. Okay? Because this is a minus 30 shot. Mauser. Ta! 50. There it is. 20. Incapacitated. Nope. Yeah, incapacitated. Not walking wounded. That's incapacitation corner. So, well, we still have to play through the whole turn. Young's here. Wow. Just wow. Young, leadership, useless. It wouldn't have done any good otherwise. Langer. Well, I guess you could shoot at this guy over in the hedgerow. Well, wouldn't this be fucked up if he kills him? Come on, man. Let Calvin live. Oh, my God. Well, it's normal range. What did we say a hedgerow was? That's got to be medium good. One Mauser shot. Pow! 59. That's not going to do anything to him. Is it? A shake and morale check. 73 made him shake. Calvin's going to pull out of there. If he hasn't gone yet. Has Langer gone twice? Yeah. Calvin, yeah. That's it. Yep. And then Young's left. Calvin's just going to be like, you know what? We've had enough of this shit. I mean, he could unshake. You're not going to take that at this point. You know? And actually, there's more Germans alive because this guy's worthless, but he's a walking wounded. Yeah, I thought Langer was toast. I thought Langer was toast too. Well, the good news is that it was a lot more entertaining than I thought it was going to be. And it was worth doing. Let's put it that way. It was worth, well, let's get for the final effect. This is really what was going on. So, yeah, I thought the Germans had it. I thought the Germans had it for sure. And I don't know that anybody did anything wrong. You know? Maybe we shouldn't have moved Flanagan up. But, I mean, it just depends on how things turned out. But, yeah, Calvin's the survivor. Calvin and Langer. We have to have a matchup. So there's a blood feud, though, between those two guys. So, anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys had fun. Or it was Are you not entertained? We didn't see any grenades being thrown. Have to leave that for the next battle. Now, there's a good chance I'll do another one tomorrow night. Just a warning. If the wife doesn't come back, there's a good chance I'll do another one. And I don't know what we'll throw in. But we're going to add little bits and pieces of things. Maybe I'll change the terrain up a little bit. The board's reasonable sized. I mean, you know, I'd like to see somebody get into friggin' hand-to-hand combat, but the conditions need to be a little bit different. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. We got through 6 turns, and yeah, we'll go from there. I think next time the Germans will be on the attack. I think that's what we'll do. I think we'll do